Hi guys, it's Alex McCann here from Manchester-based social media company Altrincham HQ, and we're here with Chris Marsh of Agents of and Circles Manchester. Hi, Chris.
Hi Alex, how's it going? You okay?
Oh, fantastic! I'm really looking forward to this because today we're talking about one of our 16 lessons of being in business for 16 years, and one of those lessons is network your face off. And when I thought of who we're going to interview for this subject, you were the first person that came to my mind, which shows you're very, very experienced in what you do. So
Thank
I'm
you.
just going to give a quick intro to yourself, and then I'm going to get you to sort of tell us a little bit more about that journey. So, Chris Marsh, everyone watching this video should know him, but a freelance business development specialist with over 25 years of hands on experience of Manchester's tech, digital, and creative industries. You don't just connect dots, you build the bridges that lead to new clients, better meetings, and solid growth. So that's a very strong intro to start with. Do you want to elaborate on that, Chris, and your journey so far?
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, I might have to start bringing you out on my pitches if this it sounds great. Yeah, 25 years. So I started at a tech company in Manchester in 2000. Very early days of the internet, and quickly moved into sort of developing my sales, through training and everything. Cold calling, email campaigns, sitting by fax machines, which some of your listeners might not know what I'm talking about there. But then I quickly found someone said to me, Chris, have you tried networking? And I thought I'll try anything to get away from this phone on days like today when I've got a red ear and a sore throat. And so since then, I've just absolutely adored networking, meeting people, building relationships. I think it's something that we'll talk more on. But yeah, that's effectively what I do. Is just helping people out, and networking's a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, you started in 2000. I started my previous business when I was a journalist and ran an events company in 1999. And you said it was the very early days of the internet. And it was very much about face to face. And obviously, we launched Ultimate HQ. We're saying it's 16 years. It was 2009. I'm thinking back. So we started working with these small businesses, went on to work like the BBC, Costa Coffee, Selfridges, etc. And I was trying to think, is it about a decade ago? You were all over Twitter because that shows how long ago it was when Twitter was the thing.
Yeah,
We were sort of all over, and you were all over face to face networking. I was aware of you. You were obviously aware of me from I was big on Twitter at the time.
yeah,
And I
indeed.
think you suggested a one to one. And for those in Altrincham, this shows how long ago it was King's Cafe we met in King's Court in Altrincham, which is no longer there. It's now turned into Batch. Um, how long? Because obviously, as I said, I was aware of you, you were aware of me. How long did you feel it took you to build this personal brand and for you to become recognised?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I remember joining a company in it was 2010, the start of 2011, and I think that was the sort of the rise of people started talking about Twitter. MySpace and Facebook were a thing. Facebook more in those days. Excuse me. And then I remember someone replying to me saying, you shouldn't be on Facebook, you should be on Twitter." I thought, what's this Twitter thing? And I think Instagram was already sort of certainly nothing like it is today, but Instagram was around in those days before it was bought out. Anyway, so one of the first things I said actually during that interview when I joined that company was, let's engage with your existing clients. The person who the owner of the business asked me how I was going to drive new business, but my first response was, let's engage with our existing clients. How are we doing that at the moment? Are we speaking to them on a regular basis? And at that time we weren't really. We were answering technical tickets to help
Mm.
with support, but we weren't engaging with them. We weren't sort of getting to know them and understanding their business. They were just taking a service from us. So when Twitter came along, I found some of them on Twitter and they were tweeting, and some of them were tweeting each other. So I started following them, and then seeing that actually they were going to all these events in Manchester. Northern Digital, Big Chip Award, all How Do Award, all these meetups that were going on in Manchester. So it was great. So I was following them, interacting with them, saying hello, showing pictures of what we look like as people, because we're this sort of faceless tech company. I think I don't mind the guys will mind me saying at that point. So Twitter was absolutely huge, monumental for us. So instrumental in terms of how we did business development, how we engaged with existing clients, and how we grew new business. So, yeah, long-winded way of going about, but that was probably 2011, so probably perhaps even close to 15 years. But using Twitter was absolutely instrumental, and everything that came out of it in the sort of following 10 years or so after
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, I miss those days of Twitter, because I think, going back to when I started the business, I think I said to you it took me about 3 months to get my first sale from what I'd call traditional networking.
Yeah,
Um, but I was walking into rooms and people would know me. Oh, you're the guy behind Altrincham HQ from Twitter, because I was a logo at the time. I didn't show my face off,
right.
and people remember this from the old days. Remember full networking? It used to be the big networking meeting that everyone used to join back about, again, 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah,
It takes a lot of effort to, I think people make mistakes with networking. I was attending two a month
right.
no, not two a month, two a week at the time. So imagine 3 months it took me to make a sale, attending networking meetings twice a week.
Yeah,
That's a lot of effort in to put
of
that. And I think
course.
people give up before they get the results. They go to one and think it's not going to work.
Of course, yeah. And I think the thing that springs to mind there is that a few guys I know, Michael DePaula and Simon Calderbout, they sort of recognise this that Twitter was becoming this huge behemoth, this massive machine of people interacting with each other and sort of the place to go to for news and whatever was going on. So they created an event where they wanted to get people together, sort of the people that you're following and the people that follow you in one
Mm.
room on one evening. It was called Twit Faced.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of a you didn't have to drink, just going by the name of the event itself, but but it was an event. There was games and a theme, and sort of encouraging people to actually meet face to face, as well as this sort of interaction that you've got on online. So yeah, I miss those days. I don't mind. I don't mind saying it was a great time. But in terms of, like you say, driving new business sales, making interactions, making introductions, it was fantastic. So yeah, but the world's changed, and we have to do things slightly differently now.
Yeah, definitely. So we just talked tweet ups. We did LinkedIn Local a few years after that when LinkedIn
Yes.
became the thing.
Yeah.
When you go to a networking event and you sort of step out the event and you're thinking about how it's gone on the way home, what do you consider to be a successful networking event for you?
It's a good question. Again, having this conversation recently with someone, I was at an event, and I won't say the name of the event or the person who I was speaking to at the time, but he said it's not very good, this event, is it? And I said, actually, I've had three good conversations today. This has been brilliant for me. This has been perfect. There's three people that I've had meaningful. I feel like we've connected. We've connected on different levels. I've understood his business. They've understood mine. We've agreed to follow up. We're going to connect on LinkedIn. But this person who sort of had a negative experience of it, didn't have those. So you can sort of look at it from different perspectives. What you want to get out of it, and what another person might differ. But for me, it's just I generally take. I might be giving away some secrets here. I generally take between 5 and 8 business cards to each
Mm.
each networking event with the intention that I shouldn't be coming home with any of those. And I might even be at the state where I say to people, I've run out of business cards. Let's connect on LinkedIn or whatever it is, or I'll take your number. So it's all in the follow up. It's all in the follow up. Making a first impression is great. Having a connection, not being too salesy, I suppose, is something I try and do as well. It's not, you're almost sort of not avoiding telling people what you do, but you really want to impose on the person the type of character that you have, and your intentions, and that you understand the value of networking, and how can I help you is always a great question to ask at networking. So I think if you know that you've got some follow ups to do, if you know that if you I don't know, sometimes it's just about feeling good on the way home, thinking I've had a good day today. So yeah, if I can ask you the same question, how would you feel about what makes a successful networking event for you?
Yeah, I run networking events. I go to other people's networking events. Obviously, those golden moments where it's random, it very rarely happens. But you walk in and you almost get an immediate sale where you're getting your diary out. I said that doesn't happen often, but it's magical when it does.
Yeah,
But I think it is. It's what you said. It's having those what you call the meaningful conversations, the ones that you feel you have a genuine rapport with, a genuine relationship. You generally feel that you can help them, they can help you. You can do something together.
yeah,
I think that's the thing. And I said it's just about, for me, I think it's that mixture of getting the right balance between meeting new people
yeah,
and meeting your established connections. Because I'm not one of these ones that people that runs around the room and has to meet all the new people in the room. Like it's as valuable to have a catch up with someone you've known for a decade
oh
or
yeah,
longer and just get to see them.
yes,
So part of my reason for turning up at events is partly just to show my face and let people know I'm still there, I'm still doing business, that
yeah,
I'm not just a face on social media as well,
yeah,
that I'm a real life
absolutely.
person.
Yeah, yeah. To be able to do that and to see someone that you've not seen for a year, especially with things like COVID that's happened, you see someone you've not seen since before COVID, big smiley face. God, I've not seen you for ages. How have you been? How's the, whatever it is? How's the family? How's what's happened with work? Whatever that looks like. So yeah, that's fantastic for me. But I mean, you say you go to events. Obviously, you run your own events as
Yeah,
well, don't you? So why did you? How come so you started a social media
yeah,
agency company, but now you're doing events. So what? Tell us why that happened.
yeah.
What's the thinking behind that?
So where I'm sat now recording this video, this is where we do our training. And I was always sat there with people. I was always helping other people run networking events. So I was always like, because I work in social media, I was always a marketing assistant for these events. So I was the person drawing people into the events, getting new attendees, getting the regulars to turn up.
Mm,
And it got to a stage where I was sat there. A lot of our clients are women in business. It's like 70% of clients are women in business. And they were sat here with me doing social media training. And I was always saying, you've got to go to this networking event. You've got to go to that networking event. And it became a little bit of an issue because a lot of these networking events were like 8 o'clock breakfast networking meetings. And they were like, we can't go. We've got the school run.
yeah,
And I know that's really sexist because the men should be doing the school run as well. But it is the reality that it is women that predominantly do the school run.
yeah,
And I was like, I should set up a networking event that is applicable for people who have to do the school run, male, female.
yeah,
So we started these networking events. The initial one was a women in business one called Alex and his sisters. Starts at 9:30 in the morning, so you can do the school run and go straight to the
yeah,
event. And then the men started saying, "Can we have one as well?" So then I launched Smiley Happy People, exactly the same format, but men and women can attend. And I think it served a gap. It served a massive gap because one, I don't like getting up stupidly early, and two, it attracted a whole new audience that just couldn't network before,
yeah,
and they're super popular now.
yeah,
Like we
yeah.
get 100 bookings a month on them.
Wow.
Um, like we interview, so I use my journalistic skills from what I used to do, and I interview an entrepreneur in business and find out about their journey.
Yeah,
And it's just really good event. So it's an extra.
yeah,
I do it for free. I say I've done £12,000 worth of networking meetings a year. It's free to attend. Just really, really good, and
yeah.
it adds to what I do as a business. Like that
Right.
bridging that online and
Yeah.
face to
That's
face is really, really important.
yeah. So it's
So
helping you with your business then. That's the sort of the face to face. You're showing you what you can do. You're
yeah,
showing that you're a genuine, likable person that people can trust and get to know, and they can see your credibility, I suppose, as well to other people around you and hear what you're saying. So it's always going to help with your business, I think, doing things like that.
it is. I think more businesses should do like not necessarily. I'm not saying more businesses should do networking events, but more businesses should do events that bring people together.
Yeah, yeah,
Where I've seen that all over social media, there's lots of businesses doing paddle events at the moment, and I think that's fantastic. It's still networking, but not a traditional networking meeting.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Macmillan Coffee Mornings have just had that's another way of bringing clients together.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
we've been talking about events and me launching events and other people launching events. I guess you saw a gap in the market because of the sheer number of networking meetings around, and you go to lots of them and you see them, and then some you see on social that had happened and you weren't there, and you think, I want to be there. So you set up Circles Manchester.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, why you felt there was this gap in the market.
Yeah, well, it's exactly that. A few things that you mentioned there, but and I bet you're gonna say yes now, genuinely. That people say to you, "Can you tell me which events you're going to? Because I need to go to more networking events." And I just kept finding all these people and I thought, I'm going to spend all my time writing long emails to you to say which events I'm going to. Sorry, but you're gonna have to find them yourself, like the way I do it. Searching through Eventbrite, looking at meetup.com, looking at social media, more ticket operations of operators, should I say, have popped up, like Vibe Tickets, Ticket Tailor. You can even find them on Ticketline as well now. So yeah, and I just kept finding that they're all in different places, and you put them in your diary or write them down, and then it'd be like next week or the week after. I'm like, where is that? I'm sure I've got an event in my diary. I can't remember what time it is. Have I paid for that ticket? Or have I just written it in my diary? So all these sort of different variables of all these different things, but that really I thought could be just in one place. And someone, if I'm honest with you, someone did say to me, Jenny, if you're watching this back, she said, "Wouldn't it be great if they were all in one place?" And I thought, that's a good idea. It turns out when I talk to people now about it, a few people have said, "Oh, we've thought about doing something like this, but we've not had the time to do it, or we don't know the resources, or it's expensive, or we've got stuff to do." But I guess I'm that person who didn't really have much to do, apparently. So I'll say that jokingly. I approached a good friend of mine, Tom Parsons, who's for want of a better phrase, is a software developer, but a very clever software developer. He's the magician. He's the brains behind the operation. So I said, listen, Tom, I've got this idea. I want to bring every networking event in Greater Manchester. They're all in all these different places onto one platform. And he said, "Yeah, we could do that." Now with AI is more accessible and more people are using it and seeing the benefits of it. So we're using a little bit of AI, scraping. I spent a year writing lists of all the networking events that I could find and put them all in a big spreadsheet. And the good thing with Eventbrite, Meetup.com, and some of the others, they'll tell you how many followers are attached to those.
Yeah.
So for yourself, for Smiley Happy People and the other events that you do, you'll see how many. So I've made a list of that, and yes, there'll be some crossover, but it's well into the sort of close to 200,000 people in Manchester that's networking. That's the whole 10 boroughs of Greater Manchester.
Yeah.
So on the 1st of September we launched Circles Manchester. It's a platform where you can search by the days of the week which you're looking to network, the time of day, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, how much you want to spend on a ticket, and then use some of the search toggles. If you want to specifically look for property networking or marketing or general business or whatever, it tells you exactly what's coming up in Greater Manchester. So yeah, that's great. That's Circle.
No, it sounds good, because obviously I'm honest about this. I'm very guilty of being in my own little Altrincham Trafford bubble, and I wouldn't have a clue like where to go in Stockport or Bury or Salford or Wigan. Your website obviously provides that whole range of things.
Honestly, there's so many. It was, and if I'm honest, it was quite overwhelming to see how many events I was finding. I click on one and I think, oh yeah, I'll add this to the site, and then at the bottom it'd say, here's 3 other events that you might like. I'm like, God, I didn't even know about these. One called POW Professionals of Wigan, POW. Right, we need to get that on the website. Click on that. Here's 3 others that you might like. Oh God, I've never even heard of these. So just almost sort of, it was a great feeling to find all these different events and put them all up there, thinking that I'm exposing all these events to people that are looking for it. They're looking to go to networking events. They want to build on a network. They want to meet new people. They want to find out the latest trends. They want to get job offers. They want to make new friends, whatever it is. So put Smiley Happy People. Those events will be on Circles Manchester as well. So I'm looking forward to going along to that. So, but you said you by your own admission they're very popular. So I suppose a question for you: how have you done it? How have you managed to get all these people? Because I'm looking at getting more subscribers for Circles Manchester. So I'm tapping into your knowledge now. How have you managed to get so many people to come to your events?
Well, obviously, relentless marketing. Like literally, it's weird because in the early days when there were less networking meetings, I didn't have to market as heavily. I would just put it on Eventbrite and I would push it on my socials. I'll push it on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta,
Yeah.
and it pretty much go within 24 hours. And I think since I've started, there's probably another, I don't know, 6 to 10 local networking events, which aren't as big as mine, but
Yeah.
pull 10 people here and 10 people there and 10 people there. And then suddenly you realize, oh, I've got to market this more heavily. But I think that the ultimate secret to why they're popular is booking a great speaker. That's literally at the heart of what I do. When I think about my decade plus of going to networking events, the speaker for me is like a big draw. Like if you've got someone who's going to do death by PowerPoint, I'm not going to turn up. So I'm literally, part of mine is if you go to an event that's got a great speaker, even if you don't meet a great contact there, you've gone away with some knowledge, you've taken something away from it.
Yeah.
So I start with the great speakers, and we've had fantastic people that have just built massive businesses. We had a guy called Chris from he runs coffee shop online, it's called, and they've got like 30 coffee shops all around the northwest and grew from one tiny coffee shop in Lynn. So that was like a really good speaker to have. We just had Darren Proctor, who was obviously on Key 103, and he runs Happy Radio now.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have great speakers, so people know whatever the subject matter, whatever that person does, they're going to go and get some value from it. They're also going to meet new people. On the Alex and his sisters, we always save back as well 20 tickets for first-time visitors. So you know that at least 20% of the room are going to be the people attending for the very first time, and you're going to meet some new faces as well. So I think, yeah, great speakers and having a regular but continual stream of new people.
Yeah, brilliant. Well,
So
I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. You're going to enjoy it. And I think for you, even though you know everyone, as I said, it's not just Altrincham people attend. It's people, I always say, from like Prestwich to Northwich and then all over. But I think there'll still be some new faces for you.
Great. Looking forward to it. That's the exciting thing for me. When I walk into a room, I remember saying this to somebody. If I walk into a room and there's 20 people there and I know 3, for me that means that's 7. There's 17 people that could be my new friends.
Yeah,
it's exciting. And I refer to them as friends. Even my dad, I was driving my mum and dad to the airport a few years ago now, and he said, "What is it you do, Chris?" I said, "Oh, thanks, Dad." I said, "You know what? I spend my days either with my friends or making new friends."
Yeah.
And he said, "What a wonderful job you've got! What a wonderful way of spending your day." I said, "Exactly. That's how I view it. And either with my friends or making new friends." So if you walk into a networking event, that's how I look at it.
It is good. I mean, I must admit, like I'm part of the reason running my own events is I'm a bit of an introvert. I might not come across it as it, but it feels like a comfort zone to have my own events and people have to come up to me rather than me have to come up to them. So I've been in events in Manchester where like that thing where you walk into a room, it's stupidly busy and I don't know many people there. And that scares me a little bit, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think it did for me. Even when you look back at when you're 18 and you go to the pub for the first time, or you start going to nightclubs when you're in your early 20s or whatever. But and I used to get that sort of apprehensive, nervous, and you can't really explain why, but you just know, well, you're not going to know anyone in the room, so you sort of it's the unknown, isn't it? It's the danger, it's the fight or flight sort of situation, isn't it? But I think you've done great with your events and getting so many people that come along to it. So it's perhaps like your wedding, I suppose, isn't it? You know everyone there. They're all coming to say hello to you. So you can almost sit back and relax and let them.
It's definitely easier. So just wrapping up, we've got a couple more questions. What's your biggest networking do and your biggest networking don't?
So many. The biggest one for do is just be positive. Just be a good energy. Just be a good person. Be yourself. Be honest. Be genuine. But be positive. Nobody wants to speak to someone who's down and negative and hates the job and doesn't want to be here. And they want to meet someone who's got a good energy. Networking don't is just the classic. Try and sell to the room. Try and hand your business cards out and be pushy. I'm sure we've all been to networking events where we've met someone like that. Certainly, a few spring to mind at the moment where they were very pushy on me, asking me all sorts of questions, and didn't take any time to actually find out anything about me. It was all about themselves. So I think if I was to give any advice to anybody who's starting networking for the first time, be yourself, be positive, try and enjoy it, make the most of it, but don't be too salesy. See what comes out of it at the end.
Yeah.
How
No.
about yourself? Would you agree with those? Have you got
No,
any
I
yourself?
definitely agree with them.
I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
I've been to events where you get someone who is way too salesy. It used to happen a lot, like again, a decade ago, 13 years ago, where you got a lot of pyramid sellers and sort of
Yeah.
multi-level marketers, and that used to be the bane of networking. And luckily, they've all gone to social media, so they all recruit on Facebook now. So they don't really come to networking events.
Yeah.
What are my biggest do's and don'ts, as well as
Yeah.
yours? I agree with.
Yeah.
Do I guess as a remember that probably the most connected person in the room is the host. So I would always, whether it's my event, someone else's event, go and try and chat to the host. Get there maybe 5-10 minutes early and
Love that.
actually have a conversation
Love that.
with them,
Love that.
because you'd be surprised about how many people don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you go and ask them, show an interest, why did you set up the event? Who would you recommend to speak to? Who's attending today? They're going to be able to tell you. It's going to make
Yes.
your job easier than just turning up to the room. So that's probably my biggest do.
Love that.
And my don'ts. My biggest don't in networking is probably neglecting the follow up. Like, don't neglect the follow up. Like, don't just turn up, get your business cards, and walk away and do nothing. There's no point in just being sat here on a desk with a pile of business cards, but you've never had an email with them, a Zoom meeting, a coffee meeting. I mean, most towns that people could network, they go to Circles Manchester to book on a networking event.
Yeah.
Every town now has a million coffee shops. It's quite easy to arrange a coffee afterwards.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's really important to make sure you do the follow up. So yeah, totally agree. Yeah, very good. Well, I've got two networking events that I'm going to today, and if I'm going to take your advice and get there early, I better get going soon. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, hopefully people have enjoyed this interview. Thanks for your time, Chris. Really, really appreciate it. For people who are watching this and aren't connected with you, what's the best way to connect? Where are you most active on?
Well, I'd say LinkedIn, really. LinkedIn seems to be the best place for me. You can email me, chris@agentsof.co.uk or chris@circlesmanchester.co.uk. But yeah, I'm on most social media channels. Taking your advice, Alex, you have to sort of have a presence as and that sort of reach as far as you can. So yeah, I'm sure you can get hold of me.
Oh,
Bump
that's
into me
fair.
in an event.
Definitely. So that's perfect. So online at an event, connect with Chris Marsh on LinkedIn. Thanks again for your time. If you're watching this for the very first time, do hit the subscribe button, follow Altrincham HQ across social media or Alex McCann on LinkedIn, and we will see you next time.